What's up guys, it's Rogue and welcome to another amazing video on the channel. We've been having a lot of deck profiles recently, time to switch it up a little. We're coming at you with a part 2 of the budget deck series. This is basically for the budget players out there, making you aware of what options you have available to you. Make sure that you do check out all the explanations in the video just so that you know why I picked them and the price point they are going to be at. If you do enjoy this type of content, make sure you do leave a like down below. The first one was very well received, actually. So I'm hoping that this one does the same. Leave a like and subscribe. We're almost at 4K. And that all starts with you, the viewer, who isn't subscribed. I know you're watching. Just hit the subscribe button down below. It is free. It helps me out a lot. And it would make my day. So without any further ado, let's get on to budget deck number 1. So starting us off with the budget engines, I'm actually going to start off with a deck that I actually do enjoy a lot. We have the Dual Avatar engine. Now this is an engine that is incredibly cheap for you budget players, and this is something you could easily splash into any of your fusion decks. So what does it require? Well, it usually takes around 4 to 5 main deck spaces in triple U-High, 1 dual avatar invitation, that's actual dual avatar side, and then it depends on how consistently you want to be seeing this engine. Because you can play fusion deployment, you can special out the U-High from the main deck to get its effect, which is incredible, saves you the normal, don't even need to normal it. You can play stuff like Rota, which are obviously these are warriors, meaning they are searchable. You can play stuff like Terraforming to grab the field spell, which searches U-High, and also produces a token of its own, meaning you don't even need to destroy U-High. So it really depends on how deep you want to actually go with this engine, but this is a fantastic addition to any of your fusion decks. What do the actual fusions do? You may be wondering. Well, let's go over the fusion spell, which is Invitation. It does take a discard, so hopefully if you compare this with a fusion deck that likes to discard, this is perfect. You activate it and discard, summon up to 5 tokens, or as many tokens as you can, which are these, the Dual Avatar Spirits, and then you can fusion summon up to twice, meaning that you can make your Armored Yugioh and your Armored Yugioh. This will pop a monster, and if you want the negation, what you do is you make Yugioh first, and then using Yugioh, you make the Armored Yugioh, and this basically means that now you are able to basically just, on a quick effect, negate one face-up monster special summoned from the extra deck, which is actually pretty cool. If you're going second, not only would you get the pop, but let's say, for example, you open multiple U-High, you can actually commit into a dual avatar empowered Yugioh. This is also a fusion deployment target, so it's serving double duty here. This card is actually pretty good going second because it has 3000 attack, and after this card attacks, after damage calculation, you can return one monster your opponent controls to the hand. That's non-targeting bounce, which is actually pretty good still in modern day Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't think the second effect will actually happen too much, which is when your opponent's spell or trap basically targets this card while there are 2 or more fusion monsters, you can negate the activation. So if you do manage, for example, use one from the hand, and then you can make an Yugioh to pop something too, if they target this card for whatever reason, you can just negate that, meaning that the attack is more likely than not to go through and the bounce too. This is an out to Dragoon, guys. It's pretty cool. But this is the Dual Avatar engine. What are the downsides? Yes, it is pretty weak, I'd say. It's not the strongest engine. I mean, the price reflects it. You can pretty much get a full Dual Avatar engine, at least from what you're seeing on screen, for less than like £3-4. If you wanted a full Dual Avatar deck, maybe like £6 or £7 or £8 maybe. This card's only been printed once, but then again, it's only £1. So really, really cheap, not that powerful, takes up minimum 4 spaces, I'd say, because even if you want to play the minimum package, we have the 3 U-High and the 1 Invitation. Normal U-High effect, destroy himself, grab yourself Invitation, gives you access to your fusion cards. So cheap engine to start us off with. We're going to be going up the cooking ladder. We're starting off slow with dual avatars. Let's now move on to the budget engine of choice for number 2. For engine number 2, this is something that was helped a lot with the most recent ban list. We actually have the Red Rose engine. Now, this engine is very, very fantastic in my opinion. It does require you to have a level 2 non-tuner. So in decks where you're going to be having level 2 non-tuners, this is the perfect engine or supplementary engine to put in. What does it take? It takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 main deck spots. I mean, you don't have to play the Frozen Rose. It's just an optional card that you can play. So potentially 4 main deck spots, which is not that bad. And again, extra deck depends how hard you want to cook with the combos. Let me show you exactly a quick combo tutorial on what one Red Rose Dragon and an imaginary level 2, let's put the token, can do. So we synchro off the token and the Red Rose into our Garden Rose Maiden. We have chain link 1 of the Red Rose, chain link 2 of the Maiden, grabbing us Black Garden. This special summons the Rocks Rose and grabs us Frozen Rose to our hand. Now on a new chain we have Rocks Rose effect, grabbing back Basil Rose Shoot. So just like that, we have 3 cards in our hand and 2 bodies on the board, one of them being a synchro. Now what are we going to do? Well, we can activate our Black Garden, and now we can start basically synchro summoning. So this basically gives you a super early Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. As summon number 5 usually, the only other thing you've summoned is a level 2. Now this gives the opponent a token. Because we've summoned, it permanently halves the Crystal Wing. We'll activate Basil Rose Shoot. We'll now bring back this doesn't target, so even if they bestial here, we always have a target. Bring back the Red Rose, give our opponent another token. Use Black Garden effect, destroy itself, destroy the tokens. We're going to reborn back the Garden Rose Maiden. And this basically leaves Crystal Wing number 2. So just imaginary Crystal Wing number 2 here, guys. Or if you don't want to do that, what we can do is instead of making the Crystal Wing, we basically just go into a SP play instead, which is pretty cool as well. I know SP is pretty expensive, so I didn't want to include it in, but it is an option, guys. But usually it'll be a second Crystal Wing. And then if you have basically more ways to extend, you can banish Garden Rose Maiden, bring back any of these guys, and then continue playing again. So this engine is very, very cheap. As I said before, I think you could probably get the whole engine. I mean, Garden Rose Maiden is a little bit expensive. It's around £5 to £6 a copy, but I'm pretty sure you can get like the whole engine for pretty cheap. Nothing more than maybe £12, and you have such an explosive engine that is pretty fun to play, by the way, and just gives you so many bodies. 2 Crystal Wings. It can give you an FA Dawn Dragster if you use a level 4 instead. It can give you a Link 2 play. It doesn't have to be SP. It can be an IP in that case as well. It's just really, really versatile engine. All you probably need is triple of the Red Rose and at least 1 to 2 copies of Rocks Rose. Frozen Rose is optional. It is like £1 to £2. It's never been, I don't think it's been reprinted, so maybe that's why. Basil Rose Shoe, you can easily play 1 copy or 2 copies, and 1 Black Garden is all you need. Along with these cards, there's also different variations we can go into. Instead of making the Garden Rose Maiden, if you have any other field spell, you go into Garden Rose Flora, destroy your field spell, summon a level 2 token, and then during your opponent's turn, you can quick sync and make your Black Rose Dragon, and then just absolutely nuke the board as well, which is insane. Or you can even make the Ruddy Rose Dragon if you want to play more, if you want to commit more to the extra deck. We have the Ruddy Rose Dragon, which if you use a Black Rose Dragon, not only banishes all the graveyards, but destroys all cards on the field as well. So, engine is super cool, super exciting, super cheap as well. So minimum you can probably get out of this deck if you have a level 2 and a level 3 Red Rose is 2 Crystal Wings, which is absolutely insane. And I don't think a lot of people talk about this engine enough. So this is engine number 2. We have the Red Rose archetype. For the third and final engine, we have really been cooking, and you guys are never going to expect this. We have the What engine. Now this engine is all commons, however What Cobras are a little bit expensive, so I think you could probably get a playset for maybe around £10. So yeah, they're pretty expensive for a common, but then again they are really, really old. And this engine is absolutely insane. I'm going to be showing you exactly why you have all the options. All it takes is 1 normal summon of What Cobra. You go battle phase, you attack directly. What Cobra effect adds you What Tuna. What Tuna effect special summons itself. Now, if we want to stick to the What or Thunder line, we attack with the What Tuna, we do some damage. So this is all doing a little bit of damage. Then we use the What Tuna effect, we Synchro Summon. We go into a beautiful, when I find him, What Yukai. Again, we attack directly, we use the What Yukai effect. We're going to shuffle back the What Cobra and the Yukai, and we're going to go into the What Chimera. The What Chimera is going to attack directly. We're going to do a hand rip. And then main phase 2, just in case you guys didn't think this was crazy enough, we're going to tribute the What Chimera, and slap a Thunder Dragon Colossus to the field to basically not only hand rip our opponent for 1, not only do 4,800 direct damage, but we're also going to floodgate them out the game, which is insane, in my opinion. If you guys don't want to go for the Thunder Dragon Colossus, that is perfectly fine. I'm going to show you guys the options that we have. So it all starts again with the normal summon of What Cobra, special What Tuna, attack. Don't use the What Cobra effect. Instead, go to main phase 2, link off your What Cobra into Almirage. Now with the Almirage and the What Tuna, we have access to a beautiful SP Little Knight, just like that, banish on summon as well, which is fantastic. If you don't want, or you don't have, or you can't afford an SP Little Knight, that is okay. We have other options too. We take it back to here, main phase 2, link off the What Cobra into an Almirage, link off the Almirage and the What Tuna. We go into a Heater. Heater, take one of their fire monsters. Heater, link off into Princess. Princess, summon back Heater. Link these two away into a Ambler Whale. We actually go full fire combo with a What Cobra, which is insane, guys. If you don't want to do this, we also have the option of going into a link to Moon Maiden. Maiden into the Fiendsmith link 1 into Fiendsmith Engraver, then basically equip the Fiendsmith Engraver with the link 1, get them away for the Necro-Equip Princess, revive Engraver, 1 rank 6, right up. Probably King Caesar, DDD guy. So this is why I think this engine is absolutely insane and why you guys must buy this now. I'm telling you, once people see this video, they're going to flock to get their What Cobras and it's going to be too late. Make sure you act quick, guys. The What Cobra engine, for one normal summon, gives you so many different lines. It is actually insane. And they're pretty cheap, as I said. Probably get a playset of What Cobra for around £10. What Tuna is bulk. The What Chimera and the What Yukai are bulk as well. You can even make different What monsters depending on how you want to play. The Colossus is probably pretty cheap as well and ultra rare. Everything else is pretty cheap minus the SP Little Knight. I mean, the Heater's cheap. You can get a Promethean Princess for around 10 and an Ambler Whale for probably a rare for about £1. So everything's super cheap. This is the engine I suggest you guys need to get your hands on right now. Just the fact you can hand loop for 1 and then slap a Colossus on top as a minimum is absolutely insane. But I've blabbered it on long enough. Leave a comment down below what engines you would like to see next. I am planning on doing a third part. The first video did very, very well. We showed off, if you haven't seen it, we showed off Dogmatica, we showed off Super Heavy Samurai, and we also showed off a third deck that I'm not going to spoil, so you guys need to go and watch it now. I'm Rogue to here, and I'll see you all in the next video.